Well, hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Excel Math Lesson 4, where we get to learn about change equivalents up to $1. That means money, coins that is equal to $1. And we're going to learn to recognize coins and solve word problems involving money and this thing we call QDNP, or the least number of coins. This is supposed to be all review. If it's not review for you, then you're going to probably want to watch things more than once. Pay real close attention. Make sure you pause the video when I say to pause it. And don't forget to add up those check answers when you get to the homework and guided practice sides of this math paper. So here we go. Number 1, 40 cents is equal to how many dimes? 10, 20, 30, 40. 10 cents per dime. A dime is worth 10 cents. So that means 4 dimes is 40 cents. 75 cents equals how many nickels? Let me give you a little hint. A nickel is 5 cents. So what you're going to do is use your fingers to count up to 75, and whatever's on your fingers is the number of nickels that you need. Pause the video. Try number 2. Turn it back on when you're ready. So you should have counted. The way I'd think of this is that there's 5 nickels in a quarter. So you got, like, on one hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your 5 fingers on one hand. That's a quarter. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So every hand is 25 cents. Well, how many 25s does it take to make 75 cents? It takes 3 quarters to make 75 cents, 3 hands, 5 nickels on each hand. So that's 5, 10, 15 nickels makes 75 cents. All right, pause the video and try number 3. So if it takes 15 nickels to make 75 cents, you need 1 more hand worth of nickels or 5 more nickels to make $1. And that would be 20 nickels. All right, how about dimes? Dimes are worth, do you remember? 10 cents, right? 10 cents. So 70 cents is 7 dimes. 7 times 10 is 70. How many quarters are equal to $1? Let's see if you remember this. Pause the video and see if you can guess the answer. All right, so if this is really hard for you, you might be on the wrong math level, but 4 quarters is equal to $1. They're 25 cents each. 25, 50, 75, $1. 25, 50, 75, $1. That's 4 quarters. Okay, $1 equals how many half dollars? Pause the video, see if you can answer that. Alrighty, so $1 is equal to 2 half dollars because 2 halves make a whole. If you cut $1 in half, you have 2 parts. Here we go. These should be easy cheesy. Number 7, a picture frame cost 51 cents. Amber gave the clerk that's a really cheap picture frame. Amber gave the clerk $1. How much was her change? To find change, you subtract the amount of money that you pay, and then you subtract the price. $1 minus 51 cents. Some of you are going to get stuck on this because maybe you forgot how to do 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 is not 1. You can't hold up 0 fingers and take 1 finger away. There's no fingers to take away. So here we're going to regroup. Little trick for you. We're going to go next door. Since there's nobody home at that 0, we're going to box the 0 with the 1 to make 10. So that means 90, 10 is $1. Think about that. 90, 10. Isn't that $1? 90 cents and 10 cents? So all I'm doing is rewriting $1 as 90 cents and 10 cents. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 5 is 4. And the answer is 49 cents. There's 2 ways you can write that. You can write it that way with no decimal point. Don't put a decimal point over there. Bad, bad, bad. Or you can put $, decimal point, 49. DD, the $sign goes with the decimal point. You don't put a cent sign with a decimal point. DD, $, decimal point. All right, pause the video and try numbers 8 and 9. 9's a little tricky, but I think you can handle it. So you should have already done numbers 8 and 9. Carlos bought a cookie that cost 22 cents. He gave the clerk a quarter. How much was his change? A quarter is 25 cents. It cost 22. When you subtract, you get 3. So the answer is 3 cents and change. Eddie has 8 nickels. How much is 8 nickels? Each nickel is 5 cents. So 8 times 5 is 40. And 6 dimes, that would be 60 cents. And 3 quarters, 25, 50, 75. How much does he have? Well, this makes $1, and that's 75. $1, 75 cents. Did you remember your dollar sign? Go back and put your dollar sign in if you didn't do that. Okay, now for the truly tricky part, especially if you have not done this before. Change can be given in several different combinations of coins. For example, 15 cents can be 3 nickels or 1 dime and a nickel. If you want to, or you could give 15 pennies, right? That'd be kind of crazy. Or you could give a dime and 5 pennies. If you want to use the fewest coins, your choice would be 1 dime and 1 nickel, because that's only 2 coins. 1 dime, 1 nickel is less coins than 3 nickels. 2 coins is less than 3 coins. Why do we care about this? Well, many of you, probably most of you, are going to work in a store at some point in your life. And you're going to need to know how to give somebody change if they hand you cash. Well, if somebody paid for something with $1 and it cost 20 cents, are you going to hand them 80 pennies? Going to count out 80 pennies to the person? That would be ridiculous. No, you would give them 3 quarters and a nickel, because that's the fastest, easiest way to make change for 80 cents worth of coins. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's get that out of there. Goodbye. To calculate the fewest coins, start with the largest coin. What's the largest coin? And that would be a quarter. Okay? And work your way down to pennies. What's the next biggest coin? Now, we do have 50-cent pieces, but we usually don't use those very often. So we're going to start with quarters. Then dimes would be the next biggest. That's 10 cents. Then nickels is the next biggest. And I don't mean the biggest in size for the coin, but the worth the most, okay? So quarters are worth the most, 25, then dimes, 10, then nickels, and then obviously pennies are worth the least. Now, we're going to do this differently than what you see here. I have a much better way of doing these problems. So do not add up like that. When you see a fewest coins problem, you're going to write Q, D, N, P on your paper. Go ahead and do that now for number 10. Write Q, D, N, P for number 10. All right, so you should have all 4 of those with little blanks after them, just like I wrote it. So we're going to figure out what 23 cents is using the fewest coins. And we're going to start with quarters. Always start with that largest coin value. Quarters, how many quarters make 23 cents? 0 quarters, right? How many dimes does it take? It would take 2 dimes. So because that's 20 cents. How many nickels? Well, you can't add a nickel to 23 cents and get, to 20 cents and get something smaller than 23 cents. So that's 0 nickels. How many pennies? 3 pennies. All right, so the correct answer is 2 dimes and 3 pennies. And it says, how many dimes are there? There's 2 dimes, and they wrote it right there. Pause the video, try number 11, and then turn it back on. All right, here we go. So you should have already done number 11. And here is what you should have done. You should have written Q, D, N, P. Okay. So how many nickels are there in 43 cents? We are going to make 43 cents to start. How many quarters would I use? Well, I can fit 1 quarter into 43 cents. And that's 25 cents. Okay, and how many dimes? So 25, 35, right? I can use 1 dime. 2 dimes, 45. No, that doesn't work. So 1 dime. 40, 35, or 25 plus 10 is 35. Now, how many nickels can I fit in? Well, 30, we're at 35. Can I fit 2 nickels? 40, no, 1 nickel. So that makes 40 cents. And then 3 pennies. So you got to kind of think about it as you go through like that. It says how many nickels? The answer is 1 nickel. It's kind of nice to write that word in there too. Okay, pause the video. Try number 12 now. Okay, Q, D, N, P. How many quarters? You should have written that. Hopefully you did this on your own. How many quarters to make 58 cents? Well, 2 quarters makes 50 cents. How many dimes can I now fit in? Well, if I add a dime, I get 60 cents. That's too big. How about a nickel? 50 cents plus 5 makes 55 cents. Now I'm getting closer. How many pennies? 3 pennies. It says how many quarters, so I'm going to write 2 quarters. And I can't write that small with my finger. Hopefully you wrote neater than that. Alrighty, that's it for today. And make sure that you add up all those check answers right there on every single problem. Make sure you put show your work on word problems and write labels, everybody.